Wings, definitely.
naturally.
Wings, definitely.
Wings. What's my favorite color?
That's not the question. Hey guys, I'm Michael.
And I am Elizabeth. Okay, so we met in 2019 December. Our church had the Yazim program for young adults. Michael's sister and her husband came in. And first of all, my sister and I were like, what are these very cute people? I've never seen them around. Michael and Mandy sat together. And I remember seeing Mandy's aunt, she had an engagement ring on. And I was like, are they together? Are they not together? And then Boy was sitting in another far seat. And then I was just conflicted, but I just looked at my sister and I said, Debbie, that's my twin sister. And I was like, Debbie, that's my husband. And then she just looked at me like I was crazy.
We both definitely have different views on how we first met. First of all, at that young adults thing, we didn't even talk. I noticed her because, like she said, she's a twin. So I was like, oh wow, look at these two twin girls here. But at that time, I was just really chilling. So I didn't really look at her in that kind of view. I was just there to have a good time with the young adults. So I didn't really notice that. But my point of view, how we met was, I would say it started at my sister's wedding. Her and her sister got an invite to my sister's wedding after stalking my sister's Instagram and becoming good friends with her.
Can I say something about that? So I actually eventually found out that Michael and Mandy were actually brothers and sisters. Was immediately after the program. Then I immediately went to follow all of them, including Mandy's husband. And then I found out that, they're brothers and sisters. Like, okay.
So, like I was saying, after becoming really cool with my sister and whatnot, they ended up getting an invite to my sister's wedding. So that's when I saw them again, and that's when I really more so noticed her at my sister's wedding. That was pretty cool, but we still didn't say anything. When my parents were going through greeting tables, I went with them and I greeted their table. That's when I first said hi to her, but still didn't say too much besides that.
That was actually it. You just said hi. And I remember the day when your mom and your dad and you were greeting everybody, and you guys were approaching us, and I was like holding my sister's dress, and I was like, oh, my husband is coming. He's coming. So Debbie was like, God, you don't even know whether he's in a relationship or engaged or something. Like, you don't even know. And I was like, well, I don't know.
What ended up happening was after being invited to the wedding, my sister invited them to my brother-in-law's birthday party. So they ended up coming to his boat party and to his dinner, and I got to see her a little bit more then. That's when she first started kind of catching my eye a little bit. I was like, oh, she's kind of a cutie, low-key. So we still didn't interact too much besides me just saying like hi to them. After that, I would say they ended up getting added to our hangout group. We had like a little group chat, and they ended up getting added because
this was all Michael's sister's doing. Like, she was just adding us. Even for the birthday, we're not supposed to be invited. She just like, oh, let me invite the twins. And that's how I started getting confirmation that, this is not just orchestrated normally. I mean, this has to be the hand of God.
No, thank you, Mandy. But eventually, one of our friends had like a little apartment get together.
Was the 1st of October for Nigerians Independence Day.
Oh yeah. So we all came over, like we grilled and just were chilling and eating in this place. That's when I more so noticed her, really because of like her and her twin, they could dance really good. So for me, I'm a sucker for dancers. So
and we're just so at first I was like, oh, okay. And at this point I already found out that he was in a relationship, and I forgot to add that I was also in a relationship when all this was happening, but we're more so in a very, very low-key relationship. And at that time I knew that the person I was with was not my husband, and I kept asking my spiritual people that what do I do in this sense, and because I didn't want to be single again, so I didn't want to break up with the relationship and stuff. So
okay, so when we were at the apartment, this is when people ask me when we first met. This is where I started from. So when we were at the apartment, she came up to me and she whispered and she said, "Did you see what I sent you on Instagram?" And I immediately pulled out my phone like, "No, I didn't see what you sent." And then she was like, "Oh, don't worry about it, don't worry. I actually unsent it." So I was kind of confused. Like, what did you send me that you had to unsend?
And that's like the longest phrases we've ever said to each other.
Yeah, besides just saying hi.
Confused.
So I was just like, what would she have to send and unsend? So then it was kind of bugging me a little bit, but then I came like around to her again, and I guess she just got like some crazy courage, and she said, actually what I said was that I know I'm in a relationship, I know you're in one, but if your relationship doesn't work and mine doesn't work, then you're gonna be my husband. And I was just like, is she good? Where is that coming from? Like, it just really threw me off.
The audacity for me.
But what happened was after she walked away from saying it, like something just started stirring in me like, man, that's crazy, but maybe she's not crazy. I don't know. It just really, I don't know. It just sat funny with me. Like I didn't just like shake it off or anything like that.
So the very next day, I think that was when we started to talk, and that's how we met.
Okay, so we got engaged on April 4th. That's when we got engaged.
This year.
So this year. So we started courting officially, the last day of November last year, 2020.
Last year. So that's actually like 5 months.
Yeah, 5 months.
Yeah. It did.
Okay, I definitely said I love you first, and it actually slipped out too. It slipped out. So it was funny. That same friend's house where she told me that I was gonna be her husband. We were there again.
Oh, we need to actually give that person some credit.
Maybe later. So we were actually there again for like another little get together, and so. I was like walking her from her car or like going to, at this point people didn't know that we were like even talking tough, had went on a few like low-key dates, nobody even knew, right? So I think she was getting out of her car and I just wanted to hurry up and go see her really quick. And then I forgot what the conversation was.
Yes, I remember the conversation. Yeah, I was So what happened was you were telling this was the first time you were telling your guys that you liked me and that you were like, this is a very different feeling for you, that you've never felt like this for anyone before. And then they were kind of like asking you that, are you sure and everything, and then you were trying to tell me about the conversation you had with them, and then they were like shocked and they were like, wow, and then you were like, oh, I told them that I love you.
Oh yeah, and then the thing is, I immediately turned around because I was like, oh crap, I didn't want to tell her right there that I loved her. And then I looked back, and she was like,
did you just say you love me?
And then at that point I wasn't gonna deny anymore, so I was like, yeah, I love you.
Did I say I love you too? No.
No, you didn't say it back then. She didn't say it back then.
So I actually didn't say that.
But eventually she ended up professing her love for me. So.
I already loved you since the foundation of the world. Sorry, that's OD.
Alright, so whose idea was it to do this video?
Oh, definitely hers. Definitely hers.
Yeah.
I think she said she had this video shoot planned before she even met me.
Yeah,
so.
I've had those videos shoot planned. Like I was like, my husband and I are gonna sit down and do a talk about how we first met. And here we are.
Yeah.
And how did you know that she was the one?
Okay, so like she said, she knew I was her husband a long time ago. For me, it took me a little bit of time. But I feel like with her,
The time is just like 2 months. Sorry, 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months. I still feel like it was pretty fast of me knowing that she was the one. But I feel that when it came to her, I was very intentional about the questions I was asking her. Also, it's crazy. When we went to her apartment, her mom was there, and it was we were watching her brother who was getting married in Nigeria's wedding on Zoom. And her mom, for just some random reason, started talking to all of us basically about, nobody knew that like we liked each other at that time either. So we were like, we weren't sitting next to each other, we were just chilling. And her mom ended up telling us a story about how her and her dad met and how they got together. And it was so scary. Like, I felt like my whole stomach was just turning because I was like, oh, me and Betty are gonna have the same exact story as her mom. And from
Even the same time, like very similar time frame.
so I was just like, oh man, this is really strange. Like, it just really, her mom's story really spoke to me because I just really felt in my soul that, oh, we're gonna have the same story. And like I said, I was very intentional about the questions I asked her, and all of her answers I feel like just aligned too spiritually with mine. And after like some time of like fighting it, I got to the point where like I just know like this is the person who I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with. So yeah, that's how I ended up knowing.
I mean, you guys, mine was more like I was prophesying it unknowingly with my mouth. And I mean, I've been in some few relationships, and I've never felt that for people that I have dated. Not to talk of people that I was that I've never spoken to before, someone I've never spoken to before. And then it was just crazy for me because I kept saying these things, oh husband. I was not even saying, oh, we're gonna be together, we're gonna date. I was just saying my husband. And one thing is, I always have a weakness. Anytime I prophesied, my weakness was always my sister. And I'll say, oh, that's my husband every time. And I used to say very, very jokingly, but when it comes out of my mouth, it almost felt so real. And then things just started working out. That was when Mandy invited us for our wedding. I'm telling you, it was 2 days before the wedding that Mandy called us and said, do you want to actually come for my wedding? And then it was like, in fact, that was almost a confirmation for me, because I was waiting and I was like, wow. Apart from Michael, I really loved Mandy and Boye. I was just like, I love this couple. I want to know them. I want to be amongst them. And then she started inviting us for her husband's birthday, to his second birthday, to hang out, and then God orchestrated everything. So I just knew it was just orchestration for me, and I got my confirmation in a few months.